Hello and welcome back to English Pro Tips. Today we're looking at 20 words that are commonly mispronounced by advanced non-native speakers of English. So this lesson is primarily aimed at high-level English speakers that want to take their English pronunciation to the next level. Also, stick around because we'll be doing a pronunciation quiz at the end of this lesson. The first word is this. How would you pronounce it? It's monotonous. Monotonous. So you can see the stress is on the second syllable. Monotonous. Monotonous. If you describe something as monotonous, you're saying that it is unchanging, boring, repetitive. We often use it to describe boring jobs, especially jobs where you do the same task over and over again. I'm always impressed when I hear this word in practice speaking tests and conversations with my students. However, 9 times out of 10, the student will pronounce the word as monotonous instead of monotonous. Okay, try repeating these sentences after me. My work is incredibly monotonous. My work is incredibly monotonous. He's a clever teacher, but his classes are rather monotonous. He's a clever teacher, but his classes are rather monotonous. Doing the dishes is so monotonous. Do you hear the emphasis on the so? Doing the dishes is so monotonous. The second word is mischievous. We often use mischievous to describe children or people who are misbehaving. So if a child is being mischievous, then they are being naughty and behaving in a way to cause trouble, although not usually in a harmful way. Now, the pronunciation is mischievous, so the stress is on the first syllable. Mischievous. Try repeating these sentences. I have 2 mischievous children. I have 2 mischievous children. When I was younger, I was a very mischievous child. When I was younger, I was a very mischievous child. Why have you got such a mischievous smile? Why have you got such a mischievous smile? So if someone has a mischievous smile, it means that they look like they have been doing something naughty or they have a secret that they are enjoying keeping hidden. Word number 3 is vulnerable. Vulnerable. If someone is vulnerable, then they are exposed to being harmed in some way. Now, depending on the speed that we say this word, we slightly change the pronunciation. When we say it slowly, we say vulnerable. So you can hear 4 syllables, vulnerable. However, when we're talking quickly, we often shorten it to just 3 syllables. Vulnerable. Vulnerable. Repeat after me. The charity helps vulnerable children. The charity helps vulnerable children. Old people are more vulnerable to cold winters. Old people are more vulnerable to cold winters. In my city, tourists are vulnerable to being robbed. In my city, tourists are vulnerable to being robbed. The The next word comes from the French language. It's entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. So an entrepreneur is somebody that sets up their own business. Listen to the pronunciation. Entrepreneur. So the first sound is an O, entrepreneur, and the last sound is a long Listen, entrepreneur. You can hear the stress is on the last syllable, ner. So entrepreneur. Repeat after me. She knew she wanted to be an entrepreneur ever since she was little. She knew she wanted to be an entrepreneur ever since she was little. Next we have this. How do you pronounce it? It's exaggerate. Now, even though we have an EX at the beginning, we pronounce this like eggs. So exaggerate. Now you'll hear the stress is on the second syllable. Exaggerate. Try these sentences. Don't exaggerate, it wasn't that bad. Don't exaggerate, it wasn't that bad. I'm not exaggerating, it was the worst meal I've ever had. I'm not exaggerating, it was the worst meal I've ever had. What is the month after January? How do you pronounce it? February. Right, now when we say this word slowly, we often say it with 4 syllables. February. However, say it a bit faster. It becomes February. So 3 syllables. Repeat after me. I was born in February. I was born in February. I was born in February. I'm going on holiday in February. I celebrate my birthday in February. Chinese New Year is sometimes in February. The next word is rural. So 2 syllables, the stress is on the first, rural. If you describe an area as being rural, it means that it is in the countryside, not the city. Listen again, rural. Practice after me. I live in a rural area. I live in a rural area. The area is still very rural and underdeveloped. The area is still very rural and underdeveloped. It's a tricky one, that. The day after Tuesday, but before Thursday is Wednesday. So how many syllables does it have? Wednesday. Just 2. Wednesday. And where is the stress? Wednesday. It's on the first syllable. Wednesday. Repeat after me. I'm meeting up with him on Wednesday. We're going for a walk on Wednesday. My test is on Wednesday. You don't need to pronounce the first D. It's not Wednesday, it's Wednesday. Just 2 syllables. The opposite of this is that. Now, this is a very common word, but actually many non-native speakers struggle with it. There are 2 things that are tricky about this word. The first one is the TH sound at the beginning. Th. When you make this sound, you put your tongue between your teeth, and if you put your hand here, you'll feel a vibration. That. That. The second thing that people struggle with is that they forget the T sound at the end of the word. It's not that, it's that. So remember the T sound at the end. That. Let me know in the comments section, are there any words that you find difficult to pronounce in English? The next word is horizons. People often like to talk about how experiences like traveling abroad or learning a new language broadens their horizons, which means it expands the limit of their knowledge and experiences. However, we need to be careful about the pronunciation of horizons. It's horizons. So the stress is on the second syllable. I often hear students putting stress on the first syllable, so they say horizons. But the stress is on the second, horizons. Repeat after me. Traveling can broaden your horizons. Traveling can broaden your horizons. Learning a foreign language will broaden your horizons. Learning a foreign language will broaden your horizons. This is a very common word, however, it's often mispronounced. The correct pronunciation is society. Society. Stress is on the second syllable. Society. Usually is the next word. Many people struggle with the r sound. It's usually. Stress is on the first syllable. Repeat after me. I usually wake up at 7 in the morning. I usually wake up at 7 in the morning. I usually go to bed before midnight. I usually go to bed before midnight. Is your best friend usually so rude? Is your best friend usually so rude? How do you pronounce this word? No. And this word? Ledge. Now put them together. No, it's not knowledge, it's knowledge. So the O turns to a O sound. So knowledge. To be honest, most of the advanced students I speak to know this, but every so often one of them will say knowledge, and it will really stick out. So just remember, the pronunciation is knowledge. This word causes a lot of trouble for many non-native speakers. It's colleagues. So remember, there are only 2 syllables and the stress is on the first syllable. Colleagues. Repeat after me. I generally get along with my colleagues. I generally get along with my colleagues. I usually have lunch with my colleagues. I usually have lunch with my colleagues. This word is pronounced various. Various. It means more than one, several. Remember, the A is pronounced as E, so various, not various, various. There are various reasons I want to live abroad. There are various reasons I want to live abroad. A person from another country is called a foreigner. So 3 syllables, stress is on the first syllable. Foreigner. A very common word these days is quarantine. Again, 3 syllables and stress on the first syllable. Quarantine. Quarantine. The next word is curriculum. How many syllables do you hear? Curriculum. There are 4. And where is the stress? Curriculum. It's on the second syllable. Curriculum. Next we have clothes. Now, most advanced speakers of English get the pronunciation correct. However, every once in a while I'll hear clothes. If you make this mistake, just remember one syllable and z sound at the end. Clothes. The final word is regularly. So 4 syllables, stress is on the first. Regularly. I often hear advanced students saying regularly, which has 3 syllables. But if you listen carefully, it's 4 syllables. Regularly. Regularly. I swim regularly. I cook regularly. I study English regularly. Okay, it's time to test your pronunciation. I'll put a word on the screen and you need to say it out loud. And then I'll say it and hopefully we'll sound similar. Number 1. Monotonous. Number 2. Mischievous. Mischievous. Number 3. Vulnerable. Vulnerable. Number 4. Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. Number 5. Exaggerate. Exaggerate. Number 6. February. February. Number 7. Rural. Rural. Number 8. Wednesday. Wednesday. Number 9. That. That. Number 10. Horizons. Horizons. Number 11. Society. Society. Number 12. Usually. Usually. Number 13. Knowledge. Knowledge. Number 14. Colleagues. Colleagues. Number 15. Various. Various. Number 16. Foreigner. Foreigner. Number 17. Quarantine. Quarantine. Number 18. Curriculum. Curriculum. Number 19. Clothes. Number 20. Regularly. Regularly. Now, if you want to see an IELTS speaking test with an advanced student with a very high level of pronunciation, then check out this video. Also, let me know in the comments section, are there any words in English that you find particularly difficult to pronounce? Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for now.